take a comfortable seat, close your eyes. Take a few releasing breaths. And just because I have not taught any classes yet this week, because I'm sort of on vacation, let's take a moment to really tune into our bodies, to clear our minds, to open our hearts, maybe even put a hand to a chest and belly if that feels right to you. If your hands are on your chest and your belly, let the warmth of those hands seep into your body, bringing you peace and ease with each breath. Bringing your awareness within and to the present moment. Reminding ourselves that our breath can be our connection to our inner voice, can be key to finding peace in the present moment no matter what is happening around us. Can also be comfort for ourselves when we need it, reminding ourselves that we're never alone. Taking a moment to scan through our bodies to release any surface tension, and then to bring our thoughts around to setting our own intention, our focus for class. So when you have the right words, take a moment, take your 3 breaths. At the end of that 3rd breath, let's begin to warm up our body in our own creative way. Just taking a moment to turn our head, to lift our chin, to do whatever feels right for our neck, and then adding in some shoulders when that feels good. Can't do that part wrong. You're just tuning in and moving. And then let's take it into a little more of movement for our spine. So we're going to take our hands either to the floor or to our knees, however you're seated, and just do some circles. So you're rocking that weight from sitting bone to sitting bone. Feeling your spine move. Let's go 2 more this direction and then 2 the other direction. So turn your circle the other way. Welcome to those of you just joining. And coming back to center. Let's use our arms here, reaching out to the side. First, we're just going to straighten the arms out, spread the fingers. Feel the power of our arms. Slowly start to draw those fingers behind, opening the chest a little, drawing the shoulders, the tips of the shoulder blades towards each other. Let's take those arms straight and just bring them out forward. Bring the palms close, and then send them back again. So waking up those shoulders. Opening the chest a little bit. Let's do that a few more times at our own pace. If it feels good to reach and hold, just reach and hold. A couple more of these. Beautiful. Bring those hands back alongside. We're going to lift one up and begin the movement over to the side. Stretching along the obliques and the sides of the body, we raise it up and lean it over, only as far as it feels good to your body. Slow or as fast as you want to go. So my head is moving with my arms, so I'm getting a little neck action here as well. Let's go one more time each way. Alright, warming up the core a little bit from the seated position. Let's take the arms up, and we're going to send them out in front, reaching. Add a little creative movement there, reaching forward, wiggling your shoulders. When you're ready, come back to center, do it again. We're activating that core. When we reach out, lean out. Maybe we want to wiggle side to side, whatever feels good. Let's do 2 more of those. And then on the last one, take it all the way to the floor. Chicken in with your hips and low back as you start to wiggle your weight or walk your hands. And then drawing ourselves back up. Let's go to all fours. Continue the warming and the movement creatively with our hips next. So you can chase your tail, just move those hips side to side, feel it in your low back and your glutes maybe. Maybe you want to add figure 8s. Whatever feels right and good to you. We're going to take it back and just do a resting pose in child's pose or extended puppy. So we're going to sink our weight back. If you're going child's pose, hips go to heels. If you're going extended puppy, we lift those hips and align our ears with our arms. You might have to move your knees a little bit further back from your fingers. But coming into your resting pose, take a few breaths here. Knees can be wide or knees can be together in your child's pose. Giving yourself some room. Two more breaths here. If you want to walk your hands or move around while you're in this resting pose, that's fine too. We're going to lift up when you're ready, back up to our all 4 position, aligning our knees under our hips and our wrists under our shoulders. We're going to find a little cat-cow for the spine, belly, and low back. So from the base of the spine, lower the belly, raise the gaze, cow. And then arch up into cat, pulling that belly button into the spine, rounding through the shoulders at your own pace. While you guys are doing this a few times, I'm going to check my attendance, make sure I have the right number. Making this feel good in your body. Let's do 2 more of each. Really power up and stretch between those shoulders when you round. Beautiful. All right. A little spinal balance while we're here. Left leg, let's take it back. Straighten it out, press through the heel. You can add right arm if you want to add a little more core work, or you can just rotate the ankle, point and flex. If you want to get crazy and add some movement, you can take elbow to knee or just put your hand down and draw the knee in if you don't want to balance. Take it to whatever level feels right to you. I need to add some warm up to my body so that stretching is easier once I'm already warmed up. You mentioned how humid it is lately, so I might start dripping here any moment. All right, so let's switch sides. Take that right leg back. Add the arm if you want for balance. And add the knee to elbow, or just the knee for more core and warm up. And bringing it back to all 4s. Let's warm those arms up early since we're already here on all 4. We're going to put our knees a little behind our hips. We're going to bring our weight forward, line up our shoulders over our wrists, spread those fingers. We're just going to warm up the arms by lowering down and pressing up. Some of you might want to do this like a full push-up with your legs extended. I'm just going to warm my arms, pressing my elbows to the back of the mat, lifting up and down. You don't have to get all the way to the ground. In fact, I'd prefer you just go as low as you can control the elbow movement. So we don't want them to wing way out to the side. We want it to go towards the back of the mat. Let's do 3 more. And then we're going to push towards the back of the mat. Roll onto our feet for a moment. Give the feet a little movement. The heels, the Achilles checking in. Rocking it. Choosing when you press up to your forward fold, back of the mat with soft knees. So it's not a true stretch forward fold. It's more of a lift it up and check in with the back of the legs. We're going to lift onto the balls of our feet, lift our heels. See how the backs of our legs feel. This is where you'll be able to tell if your hamstrings are tight. And then when you're ready, just rock it up halfway, lift. We're going to stretch that spine out. We're going to turn our head if that feels good. Just holding that position with straight backs of the legs, supported forward fold here. Stretching that head away from the body. Coming back to center, we're going to put a bend in the knees, press down through the feet, and start our moving chairs. Taking the arms up, sinking our legs down. So we'll warm those legs up. Quads get a little bit of warmth here. Maybe you want to add a little bit of lifting up onto your toes, rocking back onto your heels. Kind of a balance move for the feet. Let's do 3 more. And then take this final one up. Reach up, add a bend, side to side, and come back to center. All right, I'm big on warming up the hip flexors. That's the muscle here that runs along the front. That keeps, when we're seated, it's in action. When we're walking, it's in action. So stretching it, lengthening it, making it longer. I need to warm mine up before we do that. So we're going to start by just choosing a leg and lifting. Pick it up as high as it feels right. Switch it over when you're ready to the other side. Going to go back to the first side and do 4s. 4 times we lift. And then we shift in 4. And then we're going to go 2s. And 2s. And now I want you to march. And use your arms. Get those arms going too. Pick them up. And stop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I was watching you guys, not myself. Let's do it again and try to lift the other leg when I say stop. Stop. We're all a little wobbly today. All right, let's go back to our march. Now I want you to stop on your right side and lift your left and lift your arms up. I feel like Simon Says here, sorry. I'm not trying to do Simon Says. I just want to get those hip flexors warm. All right, hands come to heart center. Knee goes out to the side, back to center, maybe 5 times. Ooh, then take that leg out in front. Lift it up, flex the foot toward your face. Leg is straight. We're practicing our balance. And switch it over now. Arms up, right knee up, balance. Take those hands to heart center, knee goes out and in. Straighten it out in front, flex the toes back toward your face. Now, I love to circle. I know most of you know that. If you don't want to circle your knee both directions 6 times, you can just creatively move this hip around to loosen it up. Here we go. Right foot we start on, left knee we're going to circle or move. Shift it over and do the other leg when you're ready. Both ways, or whatever creative movement feels right. Excellent. Feet point forward, wider than hips distance, arms out. A few windmills. Bending at the waist, tapping wherever you reach to. Thinking about where you feel it. For me, there's a definite place that I feel this. Back of my legs where everything connects. Let's just do a few more. I want to warm that up. One more time each way. Back to center. Let's check in with those arms for a moment. We're in a wide stance. We're going to just do some tight, tiny circles, and we're going to reach for opposite walls, really firing up arms and shoulders. And then we're going to continue to add a looser circle and a bigger circle. So make it work for your body, however big you want to go. And then take 5 rotations. Shake it out from the wrists, elbows. And then we're going to do it the opposite direction, so hopefully you remember which way you were going. Go the other way. Reach for opposite walls, tight and tiny. And then start to add the bigger motion when you're ready and looser. 5 rotations at your biggest point. All right, and shake that out. Keeping the legs wide, we're going to just do a few crisscrosses. So opposite arm on top, bend at the elbow. I know we're doing a lot of warm-up today, but that's because your instructor hasn't taught a class yet this week. So here we go, a few more. And then we're going to go right into our sunflowers. Now take this cow and cat through the spine. Ooh, big open motion. So take the neck, the head down for the neck. And we're done with that. All right, turn out to the side. Make sure you're in good alignment. Knees over ankles. Knees tracking the same way as your toes. Up and down if you need a little loosening there. And we're going to go right into our sunflowers. We take it up, sink it down, tilt it forward, and sweep. We've done many of these motions already in the warm-up, so see if you can do your best effort here. Reaching that head away from the body. Getting low. One more of these, and then we're going to add some rotation. If you don't want to add rotation, just keep doing them regular. Rotating means we bend the knee and transfer the weight, and circle the shoulders and a little bit through the hips. Let's take one more rotation this way, and then turn and rotate the opposite way. More. Whatever foot of yours faces the front of your mat, once you finish, turn it to the front of the mat, flip the back heel up, come into a high lunge. Hips are level, back leg is straight, and our torso is lifting rather than leaning forward. So find that balance, that position where it feels like everything is working together to hold you. Now you have a choice. You can stay here with hands at heart center. You can take a twist to the left by lowering the right knee down or just twisting left, or you can take it all the way up for a big long hip flexor stretch on the right side. I'm going to do that, but some of you might prefer a twist to the left. One more breath. Now we're going to switch legs, so I don't know, I'm sorry, that was confusing, right? Because some of you were probably twisting the other way. So we're doing different legs. Let's just rock it forward and step your other leg back, and now you have the option here to stay in your high lunge, to twist it to the other way, whatever that is for you, or to go into your full crescent lunge lifting up. Sorry about that. I forgot we were all on different legs. Hopefully you figured it out. Coming into your position, thinking about tall spine, back leg is straight, hips level. Front knee is in the proper position over that front ankle so you can see your first and second toe. 2 more breaths here. Now it's time for a plank, really working on that core strength. So, hands down, step it back. You can lower to your knees, you can lower to your forearms. You can do whatever feels right to you, coming into a plank that you can support, and use your core, lifting belly button to spine, lowering the butt so it's not an in-between a down dog and a plank. If your legs are extended, press through those heels, really activate the backs of the legs. I'm kind of pressing up through my arms, straightening them out. So I'm lifting my chest, but drawing belly button to spine and then pressing through heels. There's lots going on. It's getting very humid and warm in here. All right, one more breath, and then we're going to take it up. Stretch it out your way now in downward facing dog. So go ahead and pedal those heels one at a time, or dip your hips, or make that transfer from plank, bend the knees, to down dog to stretch the back out. I'm going to turn my fan on, check my attendance one more time while you guys do that. Alright, then everybody's going to come to balance now in your down dog, getting your ears. So put a big bend in your knees. Just a reminder what it feels like to come into balance. Bend your knees deeply. So I'm on the balls of my feet, knees are bent. I'm going to lift from the sitting bones, and as I do that, I'm going to press up through the arms and align my ears with my arms so I get a beautiful back stretch. Not feeling a whole lot in my legs with my knees bent, but maybe that's where you need to be. I'm going to lower my heels just a little, but keep lifting my sitting bones, so it's a fight, because they want to take over. They want to lower and then drop my sitting bones, but I'm going to keep fighting to lift and lower so it's active up my arms and down the backs of my legs. My upside V is very strong. And I can feel the stretch. One more breath, and then we're going to find our right leg. Find a way to either lift it up and swing it forward, or to lower the left knee and step forward, back up to that crescent lunge. This time we all have the left leg behind us. Opening up into a full crescent lunge, maybe even adding a little mini back bend, reaching behind us. Make it feel good to you. Front of the left leg feels good, and a nice stretch through the belly maybe. All right, hands come down. Time for another plank. Choose a different level if you want, or stay in the same position. I'm going to go down to dolphin arms. Still doing the same thing, pressing up. So down through my elbows, lifting my chest a little bit, belly button to spine, and I'm pressing through the heels again. Two more breaths, and we're going to all meet at downward facing dog, this time coming right into a balanced position unless you need to stretch a little more. So up to your downward facing dog. Balance it out or move it if you need to. 5 breaths. Thinking about that left leg and finding a way through by lowering the right knee and swinging it around, or swinging the left leg through. Let's take it all the way up to our crescent lunge. Finding our best stretch here. Beautiful. This time, we're going to step it forward to the front of the mat. Coming into our mountain. Feet are hips distance apart, toes are spread. Active legs, inward spiral of the shins, feeling a little wider as we do that at the hips. Lifting tall through the spine, shoulders up, back, and down, palms face away, coming into our active and aligned mountain. Closing our eyes for a moment, checking in with the balance on our feet. It's very common to put your weight on the inner edge of your feet, or the outer edge, or toes, or heels. Try to find right in the center, centering you, grounding you. Beautiful. Open your eyes on your next inhale, lift up. Work your way to the floor in your own way, reaching forward, reaching out for a swan dive, or guiding your hands down your body if your back is sore. all of them work. Coming into a forward fold that is now designed to stretch. So head is hanging. Back of the legs is as straight as you can get them. Some of you will be a lot straighter than I am, and you will be able to walk your hands to the side or walk your hands under your feet so your toes come to your wrist creases and come into a gorilla-like pose, which is a great stretch if you can get there for the arms, shoulders, and backs of the legs. I'm just working on reaching that floor. 2 more breaths. Alright, lift it up halfway, turn the gaze if you want. We are going to come into full sun salutation, so step it back to your plank. Lower down. Coming into a cobra. Tucking the elbows in, toenails to the mat. Lift the chest. Lift the chest with the power of your back, not with just your arms. Holding here, making sure that back warms up for a moment. Beautiful. Press it up, downward facing dog. This time we find the right leg, swing it through, warrior 2. Spinning that back heel down. Find that division of power, the proper position of that front knee, holding here. By division of power, I mean all the weight is not on the front leg. Gotta press them into that back leg. Let's take elbow to knee or elbow to the inner thigh. Twist that heart open up to the sky. Left hand can stay at the hip, or we can plug it in for a full extended side angle. Stretching the left side and waking up the right hip. We're going to take it into a standing split from here, so our hands come down to the floor on either side of that right foot. We're going to flip the back heel up and step, rock it forward, lift that left leg up. So we don't have an open hip position. We're pointing the toes down toward the floor, keeping our hips kind of level, but lifting that left leg as high as we can. You could be on your fingertips, you could be on a block, you can even have a chair in front of you if that's helpful. We're going to check in with our balance and strength here, coming up from this into a one-legged balance. So we press up from the floor. Maybe we have to put our toe down, maybe not. Lift it up. 3 breaths. Put that foot down. Find your mountain again. Quicker this time. On your next inhale, work your way to the floor. Hold that forward fold, 5 breaths. Big stretch again. Hopefully the hamstrings, maybe the low back a little. Inhale halfway. Exhale, moving through that sun salutation, take it back. You can stop and hold if you want. A cobra or a sphinx or an up dog, or you can just move right on through if you're ready for it. Meeting at downward facing dog, you decide which one you want to hold at longer. Meeting up at the down dog, find your left leg, swing it through, taking this one to warrior 2. Back foot comes down. Divide that weight equally, stretch out, powerful, warrior 2. Finding your way over to a side angle, elbow to knee, elbow to chair, elbow to inner thigh. Open that right side of your chest. Find a position for the right arm. Left hip gets a chance to open up a little, and right side is getting a stretch. Moving into our standing split, both hands come down, we flip our back heel up, we rock it up and lift. Pointing the toes toward the floor. move, taking it up. One-legged balance. 3 breaths. Releasing back to mountain. 2 sun salutations your own way. Taking any pose at the bottom that you choose. We're just going to step forward or jump forward and jump back. Here we go. Inhale up. Work your way through. Everything should hopefully be warmed up and loosened up now. So find your strength and power as you move. Take your second one when you're ready. Meeting at forward fold. Taking a moment to think about your low back. Maybe you want to take your feet wide. Maybe you want to reach for opposite elbows. We haven't done a lot of chest openers either. Maybe you want to reach behind, interlace the fingers, draw the shoulders back, lift the arms up, opening the chest, stretching out the arms, shoulders are active here. Whatever feels right to you. One more breath. All right, release those hands. We're going to step back to all 4. So take a knee down, then the other. Request for thread the needle. So we'll start on the left side. First we come into our tabletop alignment. Left arm comes up. We slide it under the right one, palm up. The first order of business is to get the arm, well, for me it's to get the head down and then to press my entire arm down from shoulder to fingers. When I do that, when I press down, I'm pressing my weight to the left side of my mat here. And if you need to add more, you can raise the right arm. Some of you may want to raise your right leg, point the toe down, keep it hip height so it's not very high. Adding a little balance, a little more core to this stretch. Sometimes we tip over when we do this, so don't be alarmed. Just make sure your space is safe for a tip over. Hopefully you're getting a good stretch through the left shoulder and through the left arm. One more breath here. All right, coming back to center, take a moment, wiggle it out. Can be intense if your arms or shoulders are tight. Let's try the other side. First, we're in tabletop. Take that right arm up, slide it under. Again, my head is going to come down first. Then I'm going to press my arm down from shoulder to fingers. My weight goes right now. And I need less added stuff to this side, so I'm going to keep my left hand pressing into the mat instead of lifting it up and lifting my left leg. Honoring my body. Hopefully you're getting a right shoulder stretch, right arm stretch. One more breath. And then bringing yourself back up, wiggling that out, shaking it out for a moment. We're going to come around to seated. I don't know where the time goes. I feel like I always run out. It gets shorter every week. All right, so we're just going to take a back of the leg stretch from our seated position, giving you the choice of staff pose with your legs together or taking it wide into a V position. I'm going to go V again. I almost always choose V, but not always. So hands are going behind either way. We're going to lift up through the spine, press down through the legs, point the toes back toward our face, and take that back of the leg stretch. Some of you might have to add on in order to feel it. So adding on would be leading with your heart coming forward, keeping your sitting bones connected to the mat though. You can reach forward for the floor or for your toes or for your shins. Go as far as you need to, but feel it in the back of your legs, not in your low back. Three more breaths. we have a request for frog today, which is kind of intense for the hips. So right now, bring your legs together if they were apart. We're going to just do a few hip openers from the seated position before we do that frog to see if that opens up some space for us. So let's start by seated figure 4. Bring your left ankle above the right knee. Sitting up tall here. And you have options. You can take this with your hands behind, lifting the right leg into a seated figure 4, or you could take her up into a cradle the baby. I want you to kind of feel it and decide which is the best position for you today. I'm going to go with cradle the baby. I usually go with the seated figure 4 or seated pigeon, but I'm going to change it up today. So we're looking for something to be happening on the back of our left leg. Hamstring, hip, both. Hopefully not in the knee. One more breath. And then from wherever you are, we're going to lay that left ankle down on top of the right leg, so above the knee. And then we're going to put the foot down and twist. We're going to twist to the left. If it's too much for you, you can keep your leg on the left side where it belongs instead of crossing it over. Or you could add more by tucking the right leg under. But any way we do it, we take a tall spine and twist left, using that knee to help us get around. So now we're getting a beautiful twist through the spine, maybe through the belly, low back, maybe the left glute is even feeling it. And back to center, other side. Left leg goes long. Remembering your options, you can go the seated figure 4 and use that bottom leg to take it up into a deeper stretch, or to cradle your baby seated. Something happening in the right hamstring or hip, wherever you need it, hopefully. And then we're going to take that into our twist. So from wherever you are, either put the right foot on the right side or cross it over to the left. Tuck the left under if you want, or stay up tall and just twist to the right. Okay, frog. I don't do it often because it hurts some people's knees. So if it does hurt your knees, I'll show you what it is and then give you the option now to do it if you want to. You can go into a butterfly, which will release those inner legs a little more, sitting up tall, using your hands behind, and just taking that stretch instead of the frog. But frog looks like this. We go over wide on the mat, come onto our knees wide. We're going to turn our feet out to the side, so our knee is lined up with our ankle, and we're turning our feet out to the side. That, for some people, is hard to do. We're going to come down onto our forearms, and then once here, maybe you can take the knees a little wider. I don't want there to be a lot of pressure. Maybe you need to fold your mat up a little bit to give some comfort or cushion for your knees. Once your knees are as wide as they can, you checked your form, the toes are pointing out, ankles are in line with the knees. You take your elbows and you press back into your heels. Sorry, I went a little deep. So you're using that pressing down of your elbows, pressing back towards your heels. You should feel that opening in the inner, for me it's in the inner hips, but once I put my knees back together, I'm going to feel it all over. So this one gets more intense the longer you stay here, at least in my opinion. So let's just take about 4 more breaths here. And now that you know it, if it feels good to you, you can do it as often as you need to. Okay, so find a graceful way out of frog. I'm trying not to groan. All right. From here, we're going to do a little core work. So, giving you, we just have a little bit of time before Shavasana, just a teeny bit. We've already gotten the hips. So I'm going to rock back into a boat so you can keep your feet on the ground, you can keep chest open, back flat, arms out, arms together. You can go all the way up into your boat. You choose a boat level that works for you. You can even keep your toes lightly on the ground if you need to. But oops, we want to work our core, our abdominals specifically. So find what works for you. Let's take 5 really slow breaths. Beautiful. Release it back. Take those knees into your chest. Roll that low back out. Do a happy baby. Find something that feels good to you. So from here, I'm going to give you the option to choose a stretch that's going to feel good to your body before you come into resting pose. So we could do a pigeon from the recline version if you need more hips. You could do a glute stretch by drawing the knee over or crossing at the knees and drawing down and away on your feet. You could take a twist, arms out to a T. You could do a shoulder stand, a butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees falling open. Those all work. Those work the hips anyway. Or you can just say, you know what, I just want to stretch it out for a moment, do a few windshield wipers for my glutes, and then settle into resting position, giving you time to honor your body as I start the music. And then please take a few moments to rejuvenate in quiet